Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Supernatural, episode 1505, titled Proverbs 17:3, which premiered Thursday, November 14th, 2019 on the CW. I'm recording on the same night. It's 11:50 p.m. for me right now. So huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen. So take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm going to try to do this in 15 minutes. So let's start the clock and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, I'm pretty sure it's shortly after the events of 1504, but I can't honestly tell because it doesn't state specifically in the episode how long it's been between the last episode. I just know that Sam's nightmares are still happening frequently. So I don't know if it's progressing just because as the day goes by, or if it's literally enough time has passed for it to progress to this point. So that's a little something there. Episode reminder is the fact that this was directed by Richard Spade Jr. I think this is the first of 3, maybe 4 he's directing this season. I'll probably put a correction up on screen, hopefully by the time I edit this, so there's that. But that's something there. Episode breakdowns or storyline. It's actually 2 different storylines, but it's actually one storyline finishes and then it opens up into the second one, or at least that's how I saw it. So the first one deals with the werewolf case that pretty much opens up the episode, and then that leads into Lilith's mission. And yes, you heard me correctly, Lilith, Lucifer's first demon. So anyway, so the first storyline, we get these. We find out that these 2 werewolf brothers, Andy and Josh, are the ones that were killing all these people in Colorado. And then Sam and Dean obviously go check it out. They actually pull out their old aliases of Ford and Hamill with their season 1 photos still on the badge. What's interesting though is the fact that on Dean's, he is listed as Dean Ford, but yet with Sam's, he's still labeled as Mark Hamill. So I don't get why Dean was able to keep his first name in that alias, but Sam wasn't, instead keeping the obvious version of the alias there is. So it's just something that I noticed right off the bat there. And then also it's kind of funny the fact that everyone kept second guessing that the photo was still Dean when it's Sam's hair that changes the most over the last 15 years. So it's just unless people bypass that, because people's hair does change that much. So there's that. That was a bit funny there. Second storyline is the fact with I can't speak. Oh my God. Lilith's mission was that she was given orders after her return by Chuck to find and destroy the equalizer. Or at least it was implied, because she talks about Chuck a lot, how she brought her back and how she's supposed to find the equalizer. And it also makes sense why he would send someone to grab the weapon that could weaken him, as we know, and destroy it. So it's implied through her actions that that's what her mission is. And also she states that she can't kill the Winchesters because Chuck told her not to, I think, from my understanding, but she can harm them, which she does by giving Dean the whole start of the 1,000 cuts thing and tossing Sam around. So there's that. Last scene of the episode shows Sam and Dean at the bunker realizing that that Chuck not only is still part of their world, but he wants their story specifically to end with one brother killing the other. We found out tying in with Sam's nightmares, which I was going to talk about in tidbits. Let's start that off right now, is the fact that after talking it out, Sam realizes that all the dreams he has been having could very well be inside Chuck's mind, and all the different ways he is thinking of their story ending, because all of Sam's nightmares have ended with one brother killing the other. So, and he finally shares it with Dean about that fact, which I will talk about later. Another tidbit is the fact that Castiel hasn't answered the many texts or calls that Sam has left him. So that's a very dangerous move right there, first off. But I can understand where Cass is coming from. But I can understand if he's doing that, if he's not picking up Dean's call, but to ignore Sam's call, especially in the situation where, like, they're kind of in, like, a Chuck situation here, that they need to be aware of their contacts. So it's either that. Otherwise, call up one of their other contacts to get in contact with Castiel. They have to do that, but he's definitely not in the episode here. Also, We do find out that dead demons do go to the big empty after they die. I mean, that is where Lilith was before Chuck pulled her out. So that's something there. So maybe Crowley's over there as well. Ruby's probably over there too. Alistair probably. Dagon. Ramiel. Azazel. Who else? Asmodeus. I'm trying to think of all the big named demons that needed more than just the regular smiting to get rid of them. Even if the smaller Crossroads demons are still up there too, apparently. Well, I'm assuming from what Lilith was saying. So there's that. Also, we see that Dean cannot handle the ghost pepper beef jerky, despite his claims that he loves all kinds of beef jerky. So that was something there. Moving on to death tally, end tally, if you will. We got 2 of Ashley's friends at the start of the episode being killed by the werewolves. And then we also got the werewolf brothers themselves being killed in a murder-suicide, with Andy killing Josh before killing himself. So there is that. Most shocking moment of the episode, I will have to say, is the fact that Lilith is not only back, but she is back because of Chuck, and he pretty much recruited her to do the retrieval mission, pretty much. So that was a surprise there. I wasn't expecting that. Though, again, why not if Chuck's involved, right? So there's that. Let's move on to top 3 favorite moments. Huge favorite of mine, which I don't know why, but it's just the possibilities we get, is that we're actually seeing Sam's nightmares. We're seeing all these different versions of his nightmares. And I kept thinking it as maybe, like, before we got the final scene with the brothers, I thought maybe these nightmares were like alternate realities or alternate futures that the brothers could have gone down that path if they chose differently. Like with the nightmare we saw in 1504 with Demon Sam leading a demonic army and going dark side. Like, that was one potential future if that could have stemmed from season 2, or after season 2, if Sam had picked differently. And then same thing with this episode, we see Lucifer Sam in the white suit. So that is if he had actually said yes and kept with that yes at the end of season 5 and let Lucifer take over. Like it was implied in the episode 504 trip to the future to 2014 when we saw Lucifer Sam in the white suit. So it's just showing another route of what could have happened. And then also we get another version of the nightmare being with Dean with the mark of Cain still being a demon and attacking Sam in the bunker. And that is if we had gone down a different route in season 10 where Sam wasn't able to cure Dean. Because I'm pretty sure he's wearing the exact same shirt that he was wearing in episode 1003 when Dean was cured. I'd have to double check with that. Hopefully by the time I edit this, I will have an answer. But I really like the fact that after the conversation with the brothers at the end saying like maybe these are all the ideas that Chuck is thinking in his head, but then also having them correlate to the fact that these are all major possibilities for many of the storylines in past seasons where things could have gone a lot differently if the brothers had chosen differently. So it's just very interesting to see, like, I mean, we all love Sam and Dean the way they are now, but it's always interesting to see these characters go dark side and how they are able to handle those situations. So it's just very interesting to see it done in this way. It definitely is very trippy when they use it in the promo and you're thinking, what the hell is going on? Like I remember, I think in the season 15 promo, some of these clips got put in. It's just like, what the fuck? We're getting the Mark of Cain back. We're getting Lucifer back, and like, it was everything. So I really like that, despite what it could mean for them. I like seeing it, especially with it being the final season and getting this trip down memory lane, and the fact that I had my rewatch up to the 200th episode before school got in the way. And it's just like, it's reminding a lot more of those things coming back. So it was pretty cool there. Another favorite I did have was the fact that Sam and Dean did talk about Chuck at the very end of the episode. Like I mentioned before, not only did Sam share to Dean about these nightmares he was having where it always ended with one brother killing the other. But I also, when Dean was expressing, I do have the quote, let me bring it up though. Dean says specifically, this was supposed to be over, we were down, we were free, and now what are we supposed to do? And then also Sam offering, like, I think we keep fighting, but then you feel it when Dean says, how the hell are we supposed to fight God? Like, I could feel that desperation from Dean. I could see it from here. It's like he's on the end of his ropes after this conversation, like after this realization, the fact that Chuck isn't actually gone like they had hoped or like they thought. They have to deal with him now in order to stay alive. Otherwise, they're stuck in this maze or this labyrinth of a world that he keeps cooking up for them, and it's like, when is it going to end for them? And I just felt like I felt his like desperation to just like, I want this all to end type of thing, and he doesn't know what to do. But yet on the same side, I can see Sam wanting to fight and say like, we can't give up now and type of thing. But then like, what are they gonna do? And like, Dean has a valid question. What the fuck are they gonna do to stop Chuck? Especially with the equalizer gone, even though they know the equalizer didn't work when Sam used it on him in the 1420. So it's just like, I felt that, like that last scene, it weighed so much with them. It's like a kudos to their performance, but just like, ouch, right there. But I loved it because of how much it made me worry about them in a sense. So there's that. And another favorite moment, I'm going to end it on a fun note, was the fact that it was the beef jerky moment with Dean's, when Sam says like, oh, I never got it for you because you wouldn't like it. And Dean's like, of course I do. I love every type of flavor. And then he tries it, and then he tries to hold in the fact that he doesn't like it. And Sam's just staring there knowing that Dean is suffering from the pure heat of the ghost pepper. And he's like teasing with the water, and then like Dean finally caves. And it just like, it was a fun comedic moment, and then he just douses himself again afterwards because he can't handle it. It's just like, to have that at the beginning of the episode and yet seeing where they end at the very end, it was a huge contrast of where their mindsets are. But it was just great to see them have that fun little teasing moment before things really hit the fan for them. So I'll leave it at that. But moving on to top 3 peeve moments. The only peeve I really had was, I swear that this is a continuity error. Because of the fact that when Sam shot Lilith in the head with a Devil's Trap bullet, she was able to use magic. But correct me if I'm wrong, but the Devil's Trap is supposed to not allow them access to their magic. They're literally supposed to be trapped in their meat suit with no access to their powers. But yet, when Lilith got shot in the head, she couldn't move, physically move, but she still had access to her powers. She was still able to shake the room around them to the point that the boys were fleeing. She was able to use magic to push the bullet out of her head and then start moving again. So it's just like, no, hold the phone. She shouldn't have not been able to do that, because if you think back to when we first had the Devil's Trap bullet in 8/12, when Henry Winchester used it on Abaddon, when they first shot her, she could not use her powers at all. She tried to use them, but they were always stuck inside of her, so that she couldn't use that. And then she had to dig out the bullet herself by hand in 8/22 before she was able to use her powers again. And then we saw that with Crowley in episode 9/21, when he had to physically dig out the Devil's Trap bullet that Abaddon had shot him with before he could use his powers again. So like that, so for me, it just boggles me how in a Devil's Trap, the demon is not supposed to have any access to their powers. They're pretty much powerless. They're pretty much stuck in their human meat suits. And yet Lilith was able to not only use her powers to shake the room to intimidate the boys, but she was able to use the powers to dig the bullet out of her, when she theoretically should not have been able to, because of that Devil's Trap. And that is why this is a huge peeve of mine, because it just goes against all the continuity that was established in regards to the Devil's Trap, in regards with the bullet, specifically when it was used against Abaddon. So it's like, no. Plus also the fact that I feel like the fact that she had the bullet still in her, she should not have been able to escape. The brothers should have been able to leave and have her trapped there, because she couldn't move, she couldn't use her powers. The only way that she would be able to move is if she somehow was able to dig the bullet out of her, which she can't because she was immobilized. So, which was another thing there too, because Abaddon was still able to move physically, even with the bullet still in her, and that's why they had to chop her up, so that she couldn't move and pull out the bullet herself. So they kind of flip things around here, so it really pisses me off. And I know it's been a few years, but I mean, come on. You gotta remember the playbook of your own story, you know? So just like, that's the one thing that really riles me up. And you know that well, you've kind of picked it up if you've seen my other videos, is continuity is a thing I'm like, that really ticks me off if it's not followed, because it's like, you're not paying attention to your own story. That's just plain and simple right there. But I'm going to move on to random questions very quickly before I go into more of a tangent with that rant. But first question is, if Lilith is back, who else did Chuck bring back? Also, will the cult kill her this time? I want her dead and gone for sure. So there's that. Another question is, what's happening with Heaven's limited power the state of heaven has not been mentioned at all this season so far. Understandably so, but again, we're down to like less than 15 angels that are holding the power of heaven together. So I really want to know what's going on there. Also, what's happening with the new angels that Jack had created at the end of the 14th season. So that's a question there. Another question was, what's happening with Jack and the Big Empty, with Billy and the Shadow Creature, which we last saw in the season 14 finale. We have not seen any of those three so far. So I really want answers about that. So let's move on to predictions very quickly because the timer is going to go off right about now. First off, promo for 1506 shows the Winchesters dealing with a witch who is actually being played by a returning actress to the show. She played Karen Giles in season 2. She played the book publisher in season 4. And if other people know, she played the Blue Fairy on Once Upon a Time. And she's also Belle from the Descendants film trilogy from Disney. So there's that. Her name, I think it's Keegan, I believe. Her name's up on screen, but she's playing the antagonistic witch from the promos from the looks of it, but we'll have to see a little bit more once we get into it. Synopsis for the episode reads that Sam and Dean are visited by an old friend, and then Castiel investigates the disappearance of a local teen. Again, loving their synopsis. They keep things very simple to the point that I can't get any spoilers out of this. Usually it's the promo that's going to spoil me as to what's to come in the episode. So that's something there. Also, I did mention before in my previous video, just in case word hasn't gotten out, on November 8th, it was announced that starting March 16th, Supernatural will be moving to Monday nights at 8 p.m. until its finale airs on Monday, May 18th. Now, if you go on a Futon Critic now, it actually up on screen, I'll put the screenshot that I've captured. The Futon Critic's usually where I go to see the synopses before, like, they're usually released 2 weeks before the episode airs. But if you see right now on screen, you'll see that our mid-season finale is going to be on December 12th. Then we're going to get about 2 weeks where we're going to get reruns. And then we're only going to get about 3 episodes in January that are new. And then I don't know if this is going to be updated later on, but apparently no episodes are going to be airing in February before it comes back in March with its new time slot. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I mean, I get stretching out the season, the final season, as it were. But, like, I don't know if I want... It's like with March Madness where it's like 2 episodes and a break, 3 episodes and a break. It's like too many breaks is like it loses the momentum of it. I mean, right now we're going to get... Before it was 3 episodes break. We're going to get 3 episodes and then another break. And then we're going to get 2 episodes and then we're going to get Christmas break. It's just like going to be like, I'm tired of the breaks. But anyways, that's up on screen. If it does change, I will let you guys know in the closest episode that it happens at. Keep you posted. But so far, as of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything in February. So take that as you will. But otherwise, guys, that is pretty much it. But what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and opinions about what you think will happen in the rest of the final season. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all fun in one place. Go check that out. I am behind that because of school, so just keep that in mind. Same thing goes for WordPress. Link for that is down below. Anything I post online is connected to WordPress. It's a little more organized, a little more detailed, but still a work in progress once again. And also, live journal entry link is down below. I post jot noted summaries of the episode as I watch them for the first time. They are posted on private at the moment because I still have to format them and color them properly to be able to read easier and fill in some blanks, because sometimes I just can't catch everything when I watch it. But when I get clued in on certain things I wrote, then I will remember what happened. But it helps me remember certain things, helps you guys too. Perfect. I'm going to finish it until the very end because I've been doing it since season 6. And I don't like leaving things halfway through. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what they say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.